Hi, welcome to Minutes with Mickey. A time for us to wonder about the story, The Kingdom Divided. I was really intrigued by the story and have several questions as well as a couple of comments. The first thing I noticed that sort of struck me was how the prophet used a hands-on experience to reinforce the message from God. He didn't just come and tell Jeroboam what God had said. He actually took a physical piece of property, a coat, a new coat, and ripped it into 12 pieces. And 10 pieces for Jeroboam, talking about the 10 northern tribes of Israel, and then one piece for Solomon's son. But okay, here's the question, that's only 11. Who is the missing tribe, or is there a missing tribe? And so it's important to go back into the text and into Jewish history and take a look at that. Hopefully you've recognized already that Joseph is not a tribe because his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, they're the tribes that were Joseph's sons. Levi was not given territory because Levi was supposed to be the tribe that would have been the priests, and so they were not given land. But if you take Levi away and then you give Joseph 2, that's still 12, and we have to wrestle with this number and wondering what that means. It'd be good to go back and take a look at it. And do you notice the repeated mantra that we hear all throughout, I think, the First Testament, especially in the stories of our history? And that is that there is this comment that God makes over and over and over again. Follow me, obey my commandments, and I will be with you and I will bless you. Why don't they do this? We see it being said here to Jeroboam, and we'll wonder later, did Jeroboam follow the Lord like he should? Solomon had 40 years of this wonderful wealth, and he lost it. That brings me to my next question. How far from the Lord Solomon had gone? Since his first response to hearing the prophecy of God that God had given Jeroboam was to kill Jeroboam, not to repent of his behavior. Jeroboam had to flee and get to Egypt, but why is it that Solomon had gone that far from God's blessing and understanding that he would think to kill Jeroboam? And what good did he think that would do? I wondered about last week's story again when we heard about Solomon's wealth, and I remember asking the question, I wondered if he liberally shared it with the nation so that everyone in this 40 years of his incredible wealth had wonderful wealth about them. And here we learn in this story that apparently not. People were taxed and they were worked hard, and his yoke was heavy upon these people. Had greed and power become something that became part of Solomon's slide away from God? And if so, was that what Rehoboam actually picked up from his father as part of a pattern? Greed and power? Well, it seems like that might be true. And why would Rehoboam rather listen to his peers who have no experience than he would the wise men that he asked for advice? Was greed a part of that process? Now, the nation was on the verge of splitting into these 11 tribes anyway, back when David took power. So Solomon's time of peace sort of held them all together, obviously very tentatively. So when Solomon died, it just fell apart. So why does the text say that God was the one who wanted this divide to happen? Why did God say, this is my doing? I think that's something that we have to wonder about. And why would the people obey this word at the end of this story where God said, don't kill each other? I wanted this to happen. Go back home. And they listened to the word of the Lord. Why would they listen to the word of the Lord then and not apparently be listening to the word of the Lord any other times? That always surprises me. And so that brings us to the final point. What about us? What is this story telling us about the character of God and about God's nature? And what does God require of us? The blessing mantra is still there. If you obey me, if you follow my commands, I will be with you. What are the ways in which we have left behind God's promise? What are the ways in which we have stopped listening to God? I hope you have a great week. Thanks.